Hello, everybody. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I want to thank you for tuning in to us and being part of the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I want to also thank Tom Trial for putting us on YouTube each and every week. Make sure that you go to our YouTube site and see all the past films that Tom's put on there and the new stuff that he's going to be putting out there each and every week on the Indiana State Police YouTube site. Hey, guys.
Hey, Rich.
How you doing? Doing all right?
Doing great.
Captain Mike Pruitt with Wayne Township. Sergeant John Perrine with Indiana State Police Public Information Office. Appreciate you guys being in here today.
Anytime.
You look really thrilled, Mike.
We're thrilled.
I know you're thrilled. It's good to be here. And we got something kind of serious that we're going to be talking about, but you've got a lot of stuff here that we're going to be talking about, too, coming up. And I've seen them open already here across Indianapolis. As the fireworks stores have opened up, haven't they?
Absolutely. And some of them run 365 days a year.
Was that right?
Yeah, we have some large fireworks shops on the west side of Indianapolis. You can buy fireworks year-round.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Wow, because it used to be kind of a seasonal thing. You know, they'd open up in the...
Not now. You can find some of the bigger stores, or they have permanent fixture buildings, not your tents that stay up, but permanent buildings that are just loaded full of fireworks.
And there's a plethora of fireworks that you can get anymore across Indiana. So we're going to be talking about fireworks safety, what to do, what not to do, and how to be safe this 4th of July. Have you guys had any incidents yet? I know it's still early now.
So far, no reports of any incidents. We know as the date gets closer, we start to see injuries, and we'll start to see reports of fires or what people think maybe is a fire. You know, people set fireworks off, and we get smoke traveling through a neighborhood, and people start calling 911 reporting fires. So we'll start to see that as we get a little bit closer to the date here.
So the places that do you guys have to inspect those, or is that part of Homeland Security that does that, or
our code enforcement team will go out and actually visit with any of the shops, especially the temporary ones that set up along the roadway that many people see. So we stay on top of that to make sure that those places are safe, and go through and complete our inspections there.
Do they have to contact you before setting up, or does that?
Well, usually they file for permits.
Okay.
And when they file for permits, that's when we know that these businesses are going in, usually temporary businesses for the most part, other than the fixed site stores we do have.
And it's not been too many years ago that the fireworks law was drastically changed here in Indiana. It used to be kind of the rule of thumb was if it went up in the air or went boom, you couldn't have it.
Yeah, if you couldn't buy it here and you could buy it in Kentucky, that was a good one. That was a rule of thumb. So you cross the state line, or probably maybe in Tennessee, but I know people used to drive a long ways and come back with all that illegal contraband, which I know the state police was right on top of all the time, monitoring that traffic.
That was one of our
right.
Yeah,
we had a task force.
Yeah, that's so. But now it's legal, and that first year when I remember when the fireworks when they made them legal, some of our bigger fireworks, the more exciting ones. It looked like Baghdad over Indianapolis that night as we watched from the top of our training tower. So it changed the landscape a lot.
Yeah, and now pretty much anything, but you have to do it safely and have to know what you're doing. So what's some of the stuff you got here today?
Well, what I have in front of me, I have everything from the popular Black Cat firecrackers.
Yeah.
We've got the ever popular but also dangerous sparklers. You ever burnt yourself with one?
Why do you look at me when you say that sparklers are dangerous?
I know that you've probably burnt yourself with one of these growing up as a kid, and that's where you learned your lesson.
Those are like welding hot.
They are, and and they can cause serious damage to the skin, and even after they're used. So a lot of times, people will light these, and then they will throw them on the ground.
Right.
And some little tyke will come walking along, or an adult even, barefooted, and step on one of these, and it can cause second, third-degree burns to the skin. Easily catch clothing on fire also. If I was to take this and light it and put it next to John's uniform, it would light his uniform on fire in just seconds. So extremely dangerous whenever you're using these. They make a nice bamboo one. It kind of looks like a little bit like this lighting stick, except smaller. And it still gives you the sparkler effect, but it burns away as it goes.
I see.
So we don't have that hot metal piece still in existence after we use it.
And a good safety thing, if you're going to use those, have a bucket of water somewhere.
Absolutely. Anything that you use, whether it's the mortars, the sparklers, any type of firework, have a big bucket of water and throw it in there and just let it soak. Or, keep a fire extinguisher handy is always good. Water extinguisher, dry chemical extinguisher. You probably got these all right, ready to use.
You've obviously been to my house and looked in my cabinet.
I have, and you have a very big field this year to shoot things off in.
Yeah, he's got a new residence. It'll be
a new residence. Let's try not to burn that to the ground.
Oh, come on, you're jinxing me now.
One of the other things, and as a kid growing up, always popular, and I know John saw this too, is the Roman candles.
Yeah.
And everyone likes the
I don't know why you think I was so delinquent at it.
Candles, yeah. I'm sorry I keep looking at you, John, but your guilt is just running up and down your face here as we talk about these things. I know you've grown up to be a more responsible adult now, and we don't have to worry about those things, but the Roman candles, folks like to use these to shoot the little fireballs at each other.
Yeah.
Highly discourage that. You can cause severe burns, injury, and even death with these. Or you'll start a fire, and you're going to have your neighbors upset when you burn down their house or their barn or whatever structure might be on their
grass
property.
on fire.
Set the grass on fire. So if you're going to use these, make sure that you're pointing them in another direction. Now, I'll say that anything that shoots projectiles really needs to be shot by adults.
Yeah.
Reality is we know the youth are going to get a hold of these and shoot them, but they're really designed more for adults to hold on to. Here, hold on to that. Give us an example. Good example. Thank you. You passed the test first time around.
So I thought.
Thank you for considering me an adult.
I did.
I was getting ready to say. I thought you said adults there.
Yeah. The other big one is the mortar shells.
Yeah.
These mortar shells. The big thing that goes with all these, plus the mortar shells, is read the instructions. If you go and you buy fireworks, ask the people that are selling them how it works. And most of them, for the most part, are pretty intelligent about these. When they start selling them, they know a lot about the fireworks. They're ate up with fireworks, so they want to tell you about it, but learn how to use these properly. Because if you are firing these mortar shells, which is basically firing cannonballs into the air, if you put that wrong or upside down in that tube, what are you looking around for? You feeling guilty again? This thing's going to explode on the ground and could cause serious injury there or start a fire. So,
and they're designed to come out of that tube.
They're designed to shoot out of this tube right here, just like we're launching out of a cannon.
Yeah.
And so if you are going to shoot these, I always recommend that we screw these or nail these down to a large board so you don't have to worry about dropping it in. And when you drop it in, it goes off or it falls over before it drops off.
Yeah, it drops towards you.
And it shoots towards John as he's running away.
Or towards your audience.
Yeah, towards your audience. That's not good either. And so just read the instructions. Know what the firework's going to do.
Drop one right after another in there because those become heated.
They do become heated. And what we see a lot of folks do is they'll walk up if it doesn't go off. Yeah. And what do they do, John? Show me what they do. Exactly. And that is not a good thing to do because John cannot get enough Botox to fix his face after he does that. So it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to be a good day.
But anyhow, adult thing. Kids should not even be touching these and going up into this. So again, there's just so many safety. It's good to just find a good shoot site that's managed by someone to go there and do that. Now, reality is we know people are going to light these in their backyards and so forth. And keep in mind, your neighbors don't always enjoy fireworks.
Yeah.
And dogs. You get your dogs, you start shooting
your neighbors'
fireworks,
dogs,
and neighbors' dogs, they get upset. And we've had so many reports of people missing their animals because they took off. They were scared to death. So be courteous. The times, check your times in your local communities.
There could be local ordinances on what time you can set those off and what days you can set those off.
When you can set these off and use them and follow them. It's a nuisance for your neighbors, but it's also a nuisance for law enforcement too, because I know you've probably gotten multiple calls. Hey, somebody's shooting fireworks off. Have you ever had that happen before? And then
or sometimes people mistake it as gunfire, and we have to investigate that it's a potential of that. But we know that it's probably fireworks, and makes it difficult. Yeah.
The sword.
Yes.
What exactly is the sword?
This is another example of what you might buy, and people think that this is what you would buy to have a sword fight when you light the fuse, and that's absolutely. goes against everything that you need to do. It's again, it shoots fireballs out the end of this.
So it's a Roman candle in the shape of a sword.
If you want to be the power of Grayskull, you have young kids. What's hot right now?
I don't know.
You're just taking a beating today, aren't you? I'm sorry. This is a fire department thing, but I brought here for support.
For support, you brought me here to beat me up.
Very nice to you.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the power of Grayskull right now with your sword and firing your fireballs again, it's going to be a big problem if you're shooting this in the direction of someone or someone's property. So big open spaces if you're going to use these.
What do you recommend, Mike, for lighting these? What's a good, safe device to have if you're going to...
So I can tell you, when I was young, I had a firecracker, and I used a very small match and got down, and the firecracker didn't light right away, and so it burnt part of the fuse away.
But you didn't want to waste it.
I didn't want to waste it, so I got down there with the short match close to the firework, and it went off. Okay, and I was probably 10 years old when this happened. And today, I still have a hearing deficiency in my left ear that is detectable whenever I get my hearing test.
That's just what you tell your wife.
I deserve that. I did. But I lit it with that short match. These days, don't use lighters. The lighter has fuel in it, just like this lighter. Like this is one of our grill lighters. Don't recommend to use that. They make these nice sticks. They look like an incense stick. You light the end of that, it smolders, and it's just hot enough that you can actually use to light your fireworks with. So use these. Don't use lighters. This has fuel in it. If something goes bad, you're not only going to have the explosion, but now you're going to have this going off in your hand too, and that's not going to be...
Plus, you have a long reach with that.
Yes, it gives you a longer reach. And again, parents or adults over 18 should be the ones that are doing the lighting.
Yeah, make sure that you have adult supervision with the non-alcoholic beverage.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys can probably attest to this more of dealing with people who drank too much alcohol and having fun with fireworks.
There's two things to listen for if you're watching a fireworks show. You're listening for somebody to say, "Hold my beer," or "Hey, you all watch this." If you hear either of those, run.
Get out of there.
Run.
Get out of the area. Make sure that you're far enough away.
That's a
something
very
else.
true statement. You're right.
John, on talking about fireworks shows, and I know we've had incidents of this in the past, and you'd like to remind people, the downtown fireworks show, don't park on the interstate to watch the show.
Not just the interstate, on any road. You shouldn't park along the side of the road because, A, it's not safe to park there anytime, but B, you're parking there enjoying the fireworks show, but somebody else who's driving along is also enjoying the fireworks show, but they haven't stopped, and they're not paying attention to what's going on. They're gonna plow right into you. So plan ahead. I know it's always very enticing to you see fireworks and a nice big show. You want to pull over and watch it, but find a safe place. Find a parking lot. Find, at worst case, find a side street where there's no traffic. But we'd rather you. It's illegal to park on the interstate, but of course we don't want you to do that at all for safety.
We'll have extra patrols on the fireworks night downtown Indianapolis. We always do because 465, 65, 70 downtown, that area, and. Are we interrupting anything there, Mike?
No, it's an emergency call, but I'll just put it on hold for right now. It's nothing that requires a public
that's really,
nothing requires a public information
Tell your chief, though, we'll be with him in a minute. But the downtown fireworks show always has a lot of people trying to pull over and stop. So, again, you could be ticketed.
You could be ticketed. We don't want anybody to get hurt, and that's the key. And again... we've seen so many devastating crashes that involve somebody sitting on the side of the road, especially if you're outside of your car. So just avoid that. It's not worth putting your family or yourself at risk.
Yeah, pull off the interstate, get down to, there's plenty of parking spaces right down there. You can enjoy it from anywhere down there. Make sure that you have a good time. Got a little over a minute left. Want to make sure that we get all the safety stuff out here. Make sure you have a bucket of water with you to dunk this stuff in. If it's a dud, don't go up to it.
Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. At least 30 minutes longer.
If you have a garden hose somewhere,
spray it.
Take that garden hose and just soak it down. Don't even try to relight that thing.
Yeah, because that's a recipe for disaster and something that's going to happen. But they can get a hold of you guys for any safety tips that they want. I'm sure you have them on your website there.
Absolutely.
There.
Or just, if you contact me or John on Twitter or Facebook.
You'll see them. Yeah.
And we can supply you with tons of information on how to have a safe July 4th.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for coming along, John, and thanks for being here, Mike. I'm glad that you are going to have a great and safe 4th of July. Don't burn your new house down.
Yeah. Thanks, Rich.
You've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. Captain Mike Pruitt with Wayne Township Fire Department and Sergeant John Perrine with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office, Indiana State Police District 52. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a safe holiday. Be sure and be careful, and we'll talk to you again next time. Roadshow out.